In today's video, we break down 5 of the absolute cheapest places to live in the entire state of Florida for 2021. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoy. Okay, the structure for this video will be as follows. Number 1, cost. The way we pick these specific locations is based on mainly housing and utility cost in perspective. Number 2 is lifestyle. There's a lot of places that are inexpensive overall in Florida to live, but may not have mass appeal. Because of this fact, how I decided to choose the specific spots was based on being cheaper in perspective to a surrounding city that most people would deem attractive from a metropolitan area. And number 3, in order game plan wise for this video, we're gonna talk about the location itself, we're going to talk about the metrics, we're going to talk about things to do, lifestyle, and a little bit more. Hope it adds you some value, and let's get going. Number 1 on this list, in no particular order, Cape Coral, Florida. Cape Coral is located on the Gulf Coast of Florida in Lee County, and it actually is the largest city in mass area and population between Tampa and Miami. This is basically gonna put you 20 minutes to Fort Myers, an hour from Naples, and about an hour, 20 minutes south of Venice, Florida. Okay, from a cost perspective, Cape Coral, Florida came in about 2 percentage points below Florida's cost as a whole and about flat with the US. But where it gets really interesting is the way I constructed this specific list is not relevance to Florida as a whole as the main determining factor, but really relevance to the neighboring lifestyles. So Cape Coral sits in a middle area that's between Sarasota County's lifestyle to the north and Lee County and Collier County to the south, which would be your Fort Myers and your Naples and all that area. So where it gets really, really interesting to me is that Cape Coral is about flat overall, but versus Estero, Florida is 24% cheaper on average, versus Bonita Springs is 30% cheaper, also 30% cheaper than the area of Naples, Florida, and even 13% cheaper than Sarasota city limits. So far, far cheaper than the surrounding areas, but really, really similar locational benefits. Okay, to kind of round out each section, I now wanted to hit the lifestyle element. So Cape Coral, Florida, I think is one, a very advantageous cost way to get water access. And here are some notables I would check out from a things to do perspective. The Wicked Dolphin Rum Distillery is interesting, family owned. The Cape Coral Farmers Market. The Sunsplash Water Park is a great option for the kids. The 4 Mile Cove Preserve. And don't forget to go south to Sanibel and Captiva Islands or up north to Sarasota County. Hey guys, really quick interruption. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the Sarasota, Florida Relocation Guide. I'm your host, Adam Hancock. If you need anything from us at all, please check out the description box below. All our information's in there. Let's get back to the video. Okay, number 2 on this list, New Port Richey, Florida. This one is going to be in coastal Pasco County, Florida, just above the Pinellas County line in the Tampa Bay greater metro area. So what you're basically gonna have here surrounding is you're gonna be about 15 minutes north of Tarpon Springs with the sponge docks, about 25 minutes north of Palm Harbor, which is below that, about 45 minutes to Clearwater Beach, about another 40 minutes to downtown St. Petersburg, and just an hour to downtown Tampa. Okay, New Port Richey from a cost perspective. So this one's in the Tampa Bay metro area. So you're really gonna compare against the coastal cities surrounding. So this is gonna be your Clearwaters of the world, your Dunedins of the world, and just St. Pete and Tampa Bay's metro. So New Port Richey is relatively cheap to Florida as a whole. 42.5% cheaper than Florida's average cost, 38% cheaper than the US on average as a whole, and really interesting to the neighboring cities. So your neighbor to the south is Tarpon Springs, which is just below. Many people, if you talk to the average person, would consider Tarpon relatively cheap. New Port Richey is 52% cheaper than the cost of Tarpon, 55% cheaper than the cost of Palm Harbor, which is a little bit south of that, 49% cheaper than Dunedin, which is a little bit south to that. And then even if you go way eastern to Wesley Chapel, which would be your other Pasco County version above Tampa, but inland, 43% cheaper than Wesley Chapel, and a lot of people go to Wesley Chapel to save money versus Tampa. So overall, super, super interesting option for our number 2. New Port Richey from a lifestyle perspective offers an interesting pairing of riverfront nature with beaches and a little bit of business and culture sprinkled in. From a things to do perspective, I would definitely check out the Chasco Fiesta, which is a large Native American inspired festival that's I think 75 years in running. I'd also check out the Antcloak Key, which is accessible only by boat. The Salt Springs, Big Storm Brewing Company's there, and then just a short drive to Clearwater Beach, downtown St. Petersburg, and downtown Tampa. All right, number 3, Bartow, Florida. Bartow, Florida is going to get us a little bit further inland, located in Polk County. Situated in the Lakeland-Winter Haven Metro, this is gonna give you about 39 miles east of Tampa and about 50-ish miles southwest of Orlando. All right, Bartow, Florida's cost. So Bartow is another one that's extremely advantageous versus Florida and the US. 70% cheaper cost on average with housing and utilities to Florida, 65% cheaper than the US as an average. And then how you find Bartow is probably from the neighboring cities because it's not as well known to the average out-of-state person. So your neighboring Winter Haven, you're 25% cheaper than Winter Haven, Florida. You're 62% cheaper than Tampa, Florida, and even 25% cheaper than Lakeland, which Lakeland would be another one that would hit probably a lot of top 10 lists for advantageous cost, and you're 25% cheaper than that one. Okay, lifestyle-wise in Bartow, Florida, some notables are, I check out the Wonder House, which is an interesting spot, the Polk County Historical Museum, the Fort Fraser Trails, and don't forget you're just about an hour to Orlando, so you have all that Orlando's theme park and metro area offers. Okay, number 4 on this list, Daytona Beach, Florida. This one's going to take us over to the Atlantic coast of Florida in Volusia County, and you're going to be northeast from Orlando and southeast from Jacksonville. And that puts you 15 miles from New Smyrna Beach and about 35 minutes to Flagler. And that puts you 1 hour south of St. Augustine, Florida, and just an hour and a half south of Jacksonville. All right, the cost of Daytona Beach, Florida. This one may surprise people. It always surprises me when I come across it. So Florida as an average versus Daytona Beach, 60% cheaper than Florida and 56% cheaper than the US, which I think is a nice option. And then neighboring city-wise, you have New Smyrna Beach, which is a little bit further south. You're 80% cheaper than that. You have the Palm Coast, which is 49% cheaper than that. You have St. Augustine to the north, 67% cheaper than that. And even Jacksonville as a whole, which is a large area, 30% cheaper than that. Okay, the Daytona Beach lifestyle. This one's probably one of the more well-known on the list. Definitely known by its race fans as well as its beach destination lifestyle. But I would also check out the Daytona Beach Pier, the Water Lagoon Park, and then of course you have the 23 miles plus of sandy beaches, some that you can drive your car onto, museums of art and sciences, and much, much more. And our 5th and final location, Palm Bay, Florida. Palm Bay moves us over to the Atlantic coast in Brevard County, and along with its neighbors Melbourne and Titusville, Palm Bay anchors a large area of barrier islands and beaches that basically make up the Space Coast. This gives you about a 2.5 hour drive to Tampa, about a 3 hour drive south to Miami, an hour and a half up to West Palm Beach, and about 2.5 hours up a little bit further to Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, and our cost for Palm Bay, Florida. So Palm Bay is 33% cheaper than Florida on a housing and utility cost basis, 29% cheaper than the US as a whole, and its 2 Space Coast partners, 11% cheaper than Melbourne, Florida, and even 20% cheaper than Vero Beach. All right, the lifestyle in Palm Bay, Florida. This, in my opinion, is one of Central Florida's kind of best kept secrets. It's a little bit of a hidden gem. You have tons of natural resources, scenic highways, and the Indian River Lagoon. Okay, beyond the beach, a couple of quick notables for you. I would check out Turkey Creek, Valkyria Gardens. You could always do a nice airboat tour. You have Paddling Paradise, and much, much more up and down the Atlantic coast. Okay, that concludes this video on the 5 cheapest places on 2021 to live in Florida. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Please also check out the vlog that we just re-released. So those are gonna be weekly on Thursdays probably. Check out the description box below. We have timestamps, we have links, we have helpful resources, we have Excel files to download for analytics and more. And lastly, if you need anything from me, anything from my team, please reach out. We would love to help you navigate the Sarasota greater area. Thank you so much for watching. We're very grateful for all of you, and we'll see you on the next one.